Hey everyone, this is Professor Luchin. This is the first of two lectures for Safety 41 Analysis and Design. The second one I'll be recording with a guest speaker, Frank Lanko, who's the head of the Career Services with Kobe Tech, and with Kobe, sorry. And I'm going to be recording that on Tuesday afternoon. That was the first time he was available. I have an older version of it, but I wanted to be specific to some of the things we're dealing with now. Okay? So, some first things I want to talk about is I think I've been able to perform at least 2/3 of the one-on-one meetings. I had hoped to get them all accomplished already. We have a few stragglers, a few people who like to do things just on the weekends, but they didn't take me up on my offer to do it last weekend. So, can't speak too much about it, but for the students I've met so far, by the way, thank you. You guys really impressed me by doing that, especially with the professional emails. Is that we have a very diverse group of students. We've got some non-traditional students who have years of safety experience already, working full-time in the field. And then we have others who have not had an internship yet and aren't really sure where they want to be or what they want to do. So with that, what I'm going to try to do is foster some peer mentoring this week. And that'll be done through the discussion board. And the other thing that I got out of the meetings is that we're going to be working on LinkedIn throughout the semester. The version 1.0 of this lecture really focused on that, but then I realized that we've got some events coming up, not particularly this week, but next week. And so I thought we should start working on that. That means that we're going to be working on your resumes. Some were very good. Some others could use some work. But I want you to take advantage of Career Services, thus pushing Frank's guest lecture to this week. So that's the reason for it. Talked about the discussion board for this week. I'll talk about it more in a moment. The assignments on the agenda, it's not as many items, but some of the items take longer, such as I want you guys to fill out a scholarship application. And after I provide you with feedback, I'd really like you to submit it. So make sure that you qualify for it first. If you happen to not qualify for any of them, just do one of them and I can just grade that. And then this week's problem solving is, I call it the OSHA exam. That's not very accurate. It's more or less you being able to find information, primarily from the OSHA website, but there are other places you can look. So here's our agenda for this week. We've got 2 lecture videos. One of 2 is right now. 2 of 2 will be recorded on Tuesday and posted Tuesday evening or afternoon. I've got some URLs that I want you to investigate, and then we'll look at those again. I've got them already queued up on web browser. The scholarship application, I think I provided 4, maybe 5 options for you to choose from. And then we'll go through the exam real quick. You call it an exam. It's not an exam. It's just part of this assignment. I want to see how versed you are, how competent you are in being able to not only find answers, but show me where you got it from. Are they reliable? So make sure you get the verification code or phrase from this lecture. I'll be providing it later. Make sure you are taking notes now. If you're not taking notes now, quick pause and go get something to write with and on, and make sure that you're doing your journaling. I talked about that last week. I'll get more into it next week. This week is kind of packed with what I want you to get done. For your personal professional development, I do want you to kind of focus on applying some of the SMART criteria to your goals. Some of your goals were just really, really broad, and I'll provide specific feedback to you on what I want you to be doing for this week. To make sure we're starting to move to it so that they're better defined, and you've got things you can be doing, daily, weekly to ensure that you are able to meet those goals in a month or several months away. For the discussion board, for those of you who already have experience in safety, whether it was through a safety internship or currently working, I want you to talk about what it's like. What does a day or a week look like in your world? And then talk about how you got that position. And maybe also what you plan to do, after, for your capstone. For those you don't have experience, I'd like you to talk about some of the experience you do have, but also talk about what you're currently using to find your capstone internship or whatever you're going to do this summer. And then I want the students who are already working or did an intern, I want you to comment, provide helpful feedback to those students that don't have the experience. And for the students that don't have the experience, I want you to ask questions of those who are experienced. Okay? So peer mentoring is what we're trying to do here. The last thing is the exam, and I'll get into that. Here's our Canvas page. It's extensive, I understand. This is where the link will be for this video. Here's where I'll post the link for the guest lecture with Frank. It's going to be he and I kind of going back and forth. I think I've got an old copy of his PowerPoint slide or deck, but it hasn't changed much. So we'll be kind of using that as a guide, but I'll be asking him specific questions based on some of the things we're doing in this class. I've got a link here to some of the career services people because I do want you to contact them this week and try to make an appointment to at least have your resume looked at. But better yet, if you could take advantage of some of the pre-fair events, that'd be awesome. Make sure you are taking notes, whenever you're doing something for this class. That is very important, because if I can't see documentation that you've read or done or thought about something, then how can I, what else do I have to go off of, to show you've done it? And make sure you're working on your journal, reflecting as well. So here's the things you're going to be looking at. There's 5 links here. I want you to be... The scholarship application is about selling yourself. I mean, each of these different... You don't have to do them all. Pick one. Just pick one. If you're a high achiever and you got above a 3.0 GPA, I think you're an ASSP student member, you can actually apply for one of these and possibly win like $10,000 to $15,000. And they give away like over $250,000, $300,000 a year, and they don't have that many applicants. And so I think you've got like a 1 in 7 chance. So if you want to put in the effort, go ahead. It's worth it, I think. If not, there's just regular UWW scholarships here. I think they're due the 3rd week in February. This one's due on by the 15th. These two, I think, are due by like the 18th or 20th. These are internal department ones. Like one's $1,000, the other's $1,500 or something like that. And then there is the Wisconsin chapter of ASSP scholarship, which hasn't even been sent out yet, but I'm sharing it with you all because I'm the one who usually updates it. That's not due until April. So that might be, if you don't meet any of the requirements for these, do this one. Okay. And then the exam and the discussion board. Yeah. Here's this link goes to all of the people. It says advising, but you can set up appointments to have things reviewed for you as well. Frank will talk about it in his video. Sorry, I'm a little out of breath. I don't know what's going on here. Hope I'm not having a panic attack. So try to make an appointment this week. At least have your resume looked at. The fair, and it's called the Internship and Career Fair, is scheduled for February 12th. If you're on or near campus, it'd be great if you could go. If you're not on near campus, or if you're just not available, then there are virtual options, and I'll have Frank talk about that in his video. So if you're around here and you can take advantage of some of the pre-fair events, which Frank will talk about, please do. It's always a great opportunity. And let me know if you are planning to attend virtually in person. I'm not requiring it per se, but I think it's a really good idea. Even if you do have something, it's good to grow your network and just get practice. Here's a link to the career fair itself. It goes from 11 to 3:30 on the 12th, and it's in the Williams Center, the field house. I might be on campus that day, so I may actually meander over there, but don't rely on me. I want you guys to be looking out for yourself, okay? So getting your resume, sharpened, getting your LinkedIn profile sharpened between now and the 12th is important, Even, if you're looking for sure, you don't have anything, but even if you're just, you're already set, it's still good practice. So for the peer mentoring, the discussion board, here it is right here. Again, if you have experience, I want you to share it and how you got there. If you don't have experience, talk about how you're planning to or what you're doing to find a position. And then I want you to provide responses to the one you're not part of. So the experienced people provide feedback guidance for the B people. B people, ask questions of the A people. Okay? I'll be monitoring that, refereeing, if you will. I want you to be thinking about your goals. Before I had you all doing these, filling out a scholarship and completing the exam, this was going to be the focus, but not this week. I want you to be thinking about it. And some of the things that I want to give you an update. I didn't do well this last week. I was able to cross a couple things off my list, but I added some things too. I need to complete this stuff after I post this video, and I got to go clean up the garage and maybe vacuum out my car. Once I get that done, I'll be back here sitting in my desk, and I'm going to complete the alumni surveys, which they're probably 80 to 85% done. So maybe another hour or two on that. And then I'm also putting together a multi-year plan for better integrating the safety program or the safety degree program into COBE. Something that should have been done years ago. And it's a good time to do it because of some other initiatives going on. So I've got to get those things done today so that tomorrow I can discuss them with my colleagues in our first faculty meeting of the semester. So big deadline. By Wednesday, though, maybe even Tuesday, I could start working on my CV and my digital measures. I did, I'd forgotten to put the research forum. It was due on Friday. I got them done. I got 2 submitted. I'm pretty happy about what I submitted. Finished the surveys last week, but I can't wait to get, and I have to start recording lectures for 783. In my head, I already know what I want to do, but I need to probably create 2 new. I'm going to say 3 new, and then 5 will be just kind of a review of old lecture videos. So not a complete rebuild by any means, but I need to get that done by the 28th. Because COBE Tech usually takes like an extra 2 to 3 weeks to process. So I need to start doing that. If I can get in this week, maybe on Wednesday, and record like my intro or re-record some of my lectures that I'm not going to change, I'm going to start doing that. So hopefully by the end of the month, I'm all done. And then I can work on this other stuff. For my personal goals, this is where I did really bad. I was able to get some flossing done and some mouthwash, but I only did it like 2 or 3 times. I'm not tracking my sleep, not tracking what I'm eating, not taking blood pressure or weight yet. I said Sunday. I wish I had. Oh, today is Sunday, so maybe. Even though I had a chance to go to the gym, I was just too mentally exhausted. It was just too easy just to sit on the couch and kind of veg. So I'm going to, I think what I need to do is just force myself to go. I need to have things ready so I can listen to music. I need to set time aside every day for journaling, whether that's morning or evening. Bring my journal to the gym with me. But I really need to get going with this. This is really important. Hopefully next week when I report back to you, maybe I've started these things. Okay. All right. So I'm going to show you a demo on how to complete the problem solving from last week. And we're going to look at the OSHA exam. But first, you guys need the code phrase for this week, which is selling yourself. Again, the code phrase for this week is selling yourself, because that's what you're supposed to be doing on your resume. That's what you're supposed to be doing on your LinkedIn profile. That's what you're supposed to be doing. What I want to see how well you do for the scholarship application. Selling yourself. What are your strengths? What are your experiences? And putting them in a way that a reader can read and go, oh, wow, there's someone we want to, provide a, scholarship to. All right. So starting, here's our week 2 stuff. Yeah. Real nice. Some of the links that I have set up already, let's see, I think they come up backwards, but so here's the academic advising. I want you to take a look at it. I want you to kind of figure out who you want to contact, how to contact them. Again, Frank will talk about that too. Here's you can schedule appointments. Here's Handshake. I thought I had the fair on there too. Here's a link to a LinkedIn learning blog about writing a resume. Here is a link to NACE, the National Association of Colleges and Employers. What is career readiness? So I want you to look at that. And then this is Shirley Parsons. They're a recruiting firm for just the safety field. And they've got some great information here too. Years ago, I reached out to them, and I was going to create something, like something for students, but we all got too busy, and so I wasn't able to follow up. As far as scholarships, here's the link to the ASSP Foundation. So there are more stringent requirements here. It's due by the 15th, which is why I want to do this all this week. But you can go in and see what the qualification. I think there's a GPA requirement. Let's see. Eligible. Just got to be a student. Applying. Maybe not. I thought there was a you have to be a full-time student. The requirements are fairly easy to meet. I think it's 12 credits for undergrads. Must be enrolled in a program, taking courses, and you are right now, with at least 3 credit hours in progress, which you all do. It could be anything. So that's pretty easy. Safety, senior in high school. No, you cannot. Maybe you don't. But these get awarded. They let people know, I think, in April, May at the latest. And it gets awarded, I think, right away. So you guys could use it to pay for your capstone internships. Yeah. Okay, I guess I didn't see the GPA requirement. I thought there was one, but maybe you can just fill it out. But again, this is more extensive. There are quite a few questions to answer. These scholarships through UW, there's less here. And then if I was to go back to here, I've got these are smaller ones. So just like 3 questions or 2 questions. And these are due coming up pretty soon. Here's the Gibson Harris. Hopefully it just pops up. If not, then I'll give it a few seconds. But these are internal. And usually we get maybe 5 to 7 applicants. And usually, okay, the 22nd, these are due by. Here, there's 2 questions. So not too difficult. Oh, I thought there was other parts too. Yeah, go ahead and fill all this out since this is so simple. And hopefully you guys will then follow through and apply. Again, last year when I did this, 2 of the students actually won scholarships that I required to do for this class. Interesting, right? Hopefully everybody's working on their LinkedIn. Man, I get a lot of posts. I like this guy, Ben Hutchinson. He posts research. Anyway, hopefully you guys are getting on here. Hopefully you're working on your profiles. I'm trying to work on some content that I want to post. But I like and share things quite a bit. Does it show on here? Yeah, there's some meetings and jobs and stuff like that. Yeah, I think someone is up by Appleton, and I think Jeff just posted today that there is a meeting coming up. I think it has to do with like an OSHA update. Yeah. Is it going to take me there or what? So if anybody's up in the Appleton area, it's not until March 12th. You got plenty of time. As a student member, you get to go to this for free, I believe. And you get to pick the food you want. That's pretty awesome. Yeah. And I can also contact Jeff and others who are officers up there to make sure that you guys can meet people and network, and I can have them introduce to you at the beginning of the meeting. So yeah, let me know, and I'll talk about the Wisconsin ones too as we come up. We actually have something on February 5th on Wednesday on campus. It's a recruiting thing, and so if you're on campus already, you've probably already heard about it. If you're off campus, contact me and I can give you more information. Would it be worth a drive? I can't say. It's because it is more of a recruiting event. Okay. So just a quick reminder that the passcode phrase is selling yourself. Make sure you guys know that. Before I go ahead and show you how to solve this week's assignment. So I put it on Excel just because it's easier for me to type in stuff to show you what to do. So the question was, and as you saw from the videos, Rick and Morty was my theme this week, and it's Morty Sanchez. That's his last name. Rick Sanchez, Morty Sanchez, teleportation technology, because that's how Rick became the smartest man in the universe. Now, why are these like this? Let's get the color out of there, because those won't even be the pics. No fill. I don't want to confuse you guys. Sorry, that disappeared too. So the question is, he needs to get his cumulative GPA above 2.5. What should he take in the spring here in order to do that? And so there's a few things you can do. One, look for the lower grades. You know, you can't retake a class unless it's below C minus. C minus or below, I should say. Sorry, that's bothering me. That's one thing, but also you want to probably take one that has a higher credit number simply because it impacts it more. What did I... Oh, I put some stuff in here I shouldn't have. I think I did an example with this last year. I'm just going to keep it real simple for you guys. So how do we know how a GPA is calculated? Well, this is where it was more of like the figure it out type thing. And how to calculate GPA. Let's see what we've got here. I don't want a calculator per se. I want this. Yeah, okay, cool. Hey, look at that. It looks like everything's pretty standard. I'll copy this. I'll bring it over. Okay. Here's how we calculate it. So it is the number of credits multiplied by the points divided by the credits. Okay? And I mean, you could test out this basic concept by applying it to one of the terms. But the question is overall. We want the cumulative overall, which we're currently at a 2.43. And using this right here, which we have. By the way, I just found that. I didn't prepare that. So 2.43, which is the current cumulative, is equal to the... I just want an equal sign in there. Stupid thing. Can I put an equal sign, or will it not let me? Oh, it did. Okay. Is equal to, and it's the sum of everything. So it's credits times by points divided by credits. So how many total credits do we have here? So let's figure that out first, shall we? So total credits taken by Morty. And I could actually, I'm just going to go equal, because I'm in Excel, I'm going to click on it. So it was 13 there. Plus 15, plus 15, plus 13, plus 15, plus 15, plus 14, plus 14. So 114 total credits. So what we have here then is it's going to be 114. Well, it's going to be the individual credit multiplied by points divided by total credits. So basically, it's those things divided by... I should probably put a divide thing in here just to... Divided by 114. Okay, so here's one thing. So we're already coming up an equation to represent what we're trying to figure out here. Just centering everything because my ADD. All right. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 114 to get rid of that. So equal to 2.43 times by 114. So the total points that Morty has right now is 277.02. What do we need? And that is equivalent to the 2.43. Oh man, I hate it when it does that. That's equivalent to the 2.43, right? So therefore, what do I need to get 2.5? Okay. So if, here, how can I do this? If it was 2.550 equal, and that was divided by 114, sorry. I hope you guys are kind of following. I'm trying to draw it out so that you guys can kind of see what I mean. It'd be easier if I could just pull a piece of paper. But so I'm going to multiply those out. So what does he need? So this is going to be equal to 2.5. Again, this is the minimum times by 114. Okay, so what's the difference? What's the difference in points? Equal to this number minus this number is he needs to get an additional 7.98, right? And so we have to, whatever we pick, he needs to get this much more. So if it was a 5-credit class, so 5-credit class, that would mean he would need to get he'd have to score something above point. Let's go 1.6. Okay, we're gonna round it up 1.6. So 1.6 higher on here. Okay, so if that means he got a D right here, it's 5 credits because that's what I just calculated. If it was lower, I knew I was going to go for 109 just because it was taken earlier in the career. It's 5 credits. It's a D. So a D is worth 1, which means if he needs to get 1.6, he needs a 2.6 or higher. So a B minus. If he got a B minus in this class, that would give him more than the minimum to get a 2.5. And here's the thing. What if this is a chemistry course? And he's like, I hate chemistry. I never want to take that. Could we do it with this class? Well, let's figure out. A C minus is 1.7. Oh, it's also a 4-credit class. So if he has a 4-credit class, let's see here. He would need 7.98 divided by 4. He would need basically a 2. We'll round it up to 2. He would need 2 more. So if he has a C minus here, 4 credits, C minus, and he needs 2, he had to get a 3 point. He had to get an A minus in that class for right here. Here he's got a 4-credit D. In that class, he would only need to get a 3 or a B. Do you see that I came up with all kinds of options? If it was a 3-credit class, what would he need? I'll take this amount divided by 3, and I got to round it up, 2.7. He would need a 2.7 higher grade score if it was a 3. Are there any 3s that are C minus? I guess not. I don't see any takers here. No. You have to be a C minus or lower. He has got a 4 there. He's got a 2 there. What would he need? What would you need if it was a 2-credit? Because this is one. Maybe it was early in the morning and he couldn't get out of bed. I don't know. Oh, I hit the wrong one. What am I doing? I want that divided by 2. Oh, he couldn't do it. He would need a 3. He'd have to get basically 4 points above. A D minus is 0.7. He'd need a 4.7, and that's not possible. So a 2-credit D minus is not even possible. He'd have to take a couple courses. So maybe he could take a 2, but again, he'd have to take a C minus. So it wouldn't be worth it to do it. So that is not actually a viable option. Interesting. Hadn't figured that out before. So that's how I did it. You kind of got to conceptualize the problem that we're looking at cumulative. What is cumulative? What do we have? What do we know? And then we have to figure out what the current state is. What is the potential future state? What are we shooting for? And if we don't know what we're shooting for, then we have to make estimates of what that might be. Okay, so that's how we did that problem. The second problem was actually a lot easier. I think you guys know this. That the weightings, the current weightings are here, and the percentage for the final grade. What do they need to get on the final exam to get this? And it's points out of 100. I know some of you submitted percentages, but luckily I gave it 100 points, so therefore it's directly equivalent for points. So Abby here currently has a 74.77. She wants a 92. So what does she have to get from a percentage weighted perspective? It says 20% here in order to get that. Well, first what we do is we subtract 92% minus the current percentage. So she needs to get 17.23% of the 20. And what is that? Well, we'll take this divided by 20%. The ratio, oops, do I want that in a percentage or do I want that in a... Okay, so I had to break it down here. So she needs to get 86.2, and the number is 100. So I take the 86.2 times by 100, which is the number of questions. Needs to get a minimum of this amount, but you can't get a fraction of a point. So 87 is the answer. Abby needs to get a minimum 87 to get the score on the final exam so she can get 92% for the course grade. Although she may have a gracious professor who maybe, if she got like a 91.8, they'd round up. But who knows? Maybe they're not. All right, let's figure out what, okay, so all these are a little bit different. What does this dude need? A 90. So we'll go 90% minus this. Okay, so it's not doable. The best they could get, if they got a full 100 on the exam, the best that it would be a B plus. So they're not able to get an A minus. Bob needs to see if he can get. Bob would need to see if he could get extra credit. It's above a 1. Can't get it. All right, let's do some more. This person wants an 82%. Oh, 28. 82% minus. They need 15. What does this person need? 70. 70% minus 51. They need that. What do they need? They just want to pass. 60% minus 42. Okay. How do we figure this out then? We divide all of these by the 20%, and then we multiply them all by 100. So this is can't do it. This one is 77. This one is 94. It's right on the dot. And this one is 87. Interesting. So those are the answers, ladies and gentlemen. That's how we'd figure those out. Okay. All right. Last thing I want to do is look at the OSHA exam that you guys are going to be doing this week. Oh, this went way long. I didn't mean for it to be this long. So I think we've got like 24 questions in which you have to find the answer and cite a reputable source. So what historic disaster set in motion the creation of ASSP, NSC, and FPA? If you don't know, look back at your 380 notes or 210 notes, I guess it's called now, and let me know where you got it from. Identify conditions which OSHA can open enforcement inspection. So cite that. That's on the OSHA website. How does OSHA compliance calculate its penalty amounts? Cite that. What they actually have a memo out now that does it. What's the difference between a TRIR and a DART-IR? Again, I want you to source it out and try not to use AI. Actually cite a website. Get the answer from a website. Conditions determine whether an injury is recordable, blah, blah, blah. Now, the last part here has got some scenarios. What I want you to do is indicate whether it's a violation, whether a violation has occurred or not, and then provide the OSHA standard language that supports your answer. So if it's not a violation, I want you to show me why it's not a violation. If it is a violation, I want you to show me why it's a violation. We only have 5 scenarios. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're pretty straightforward, but it's going to have you look up and cite. And you may have to look up something more than just the standard. You may have to look up a letter of interpretation or something like that. Yeah. So that is everything for this week. I think we looked at everything. Yeah, that's basically it. We don't have any meetings together this week unless you show up at the thing on February 5th. It'd be great to see you there. But as always, if you ever have questions, please reach out to me by email, and I can set up time to meet with you via WebEx if that's what we need. Or if you're on campus, we can meet in my office hours on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Thanks for listening. Bye.